Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Tripathi and welcome to the Current Affairs Intercepted YouTube channel. Today is April 24 and we are going to learn very important current affairs for your exam point of view. In recent, which country is going to organize Rainbow Tourism Conference? Is it Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal or Kazakhstan? Nepal is going to organize Rainbow Tourism Conference this year. In simple words, Rainbow Tourism, LGBTQIA plus tourism. Rainbow tourism is LGBTQIA tourism. As you know, Rainbow is associated with LGBTQIA plus members, and LGBTQI stands as alpha, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual. And it is an inclusive acronym used to represent diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. So Nepal is going to organize a rainbow tourisms in order to facilitate LGBTQI community. It is about embracing diversity and presenting an environment which are welcoming to LGBTQI plus members. So it's Nepal which is going to organize LGBTQIA plus tourism. Capital of Nepal is Kathmandu. Official language is Nepali and currency is Nepali rupee. Nepal has divided into 7 provinces. Lumbini province is adjacent to Uttar Pradesh. Pushpa Kamal Dahal is the Prime Minister of Nepal, and India and Nepal is working in multiple areas. It has very strong people-to-people connect, visa-free travel from India to Nepal and Nepal to India, and there are lots of airports and hydropower projects are developed by India. Majorly, Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited. Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited is working into multiple hydropower projects in Nepal. Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited is also working lots of joint venture with Nepalese companies. So this is Nepal, okay? And if you look closely, the Lumbini province of Nepal is bordered with Uttar Pradesh up to some extent, and after that, if you notice, Madhya Pradesh is in near the Bihar, and some part of this region also bordered with Bihar. This is Rupaidiha. Rupaidiha. It comes in Bahraj district. UP's first land port has been made at Rupaidiha, and this is the international border of India and Nepal. And Rupaidiha is situated at the border in the India. It is developed by Land Port Authority of India. And by construction of land port, movements of cargoes, trucks, custom, immigration and other facilities can be eased up, can be provided in simpler manner. So land port constructed here is going to help a lot of people, including transportation of cargo, immigration, customs and other facilities between two friendly countries. So Rupaidiha port, which is a land port developed by Land Port Authority of India, is UP's first land port, and it is located at Bahraj district of Uttar Pradesh. According to Stockholm International Peace Research Institute (SIPRI) report, what is India's rank in 2023 for military spending? First, second, fourth, or ninth? So recently, Stockholm International Peace Research Institute has released a report, and India ranks 4th in this list. SIPRI stands as Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. It is an independent international institute dedicated to research into conflict, armaments, armed control, and disarmament. Established in 1966, SIPRI provides data analysis recommendation based upon sources. So SIPRI produces multiple reports, and SIPRI is an independent think tank located in Stockholm, and Stockholm is in Sweden, which is a European country. And in this report, India ranks 4th, 83.6 billion USD as a military spending, and the list is topped by United States, followed by China, third is Russia, and fourth is India. India spends 83.6 billion USD in 2023. United States spends largest amount of military spending, which stands as 916 billion USD, followed by China, which spends around 296 billion USD, close to 300, and Russia 1.09 billion USD, and India 83.6 billion USD into. So US is the largest spender, and which is by margin very large amount, and it is larger than the top second, third, and fourth combined as well. So 916 billion USD is a very large amount, and US spends this amount in 2023 for military. It goes into research and development, procurement of arms, production, manufacturing, and multiple, assistances and grants. So this is the combined spending. It is a rough estimate. It can be sometimes more, sometimes less. So India ranks at fourth with 83.6 billion USD military spending. WHO has pre-qualified a vaccine named EUVCOL as for which disease? Is it TB, malaria, cholera, or typhoid? Call yes, which is a oral vaccine, and it is for cholera. It is a oral vaccine, means you don't need injection. You just can intake it from mouth, and it is for cholera. WHO, which is World Health Organization, headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It works all over with governments to increase healthcare and provide healthcare initiative to remote areas. It is a special agency of United Nations, and it focuses on public health. It releases various advisories, precautions, vaccines procurement, and ease up distribution of vaccines all over the globe. It was established in 1948, and current Director General of WHO is Dr. Tedros, who is Ethiopian national. So UV S vaccine is for cholera, and it is a oral vaccine, and WHO has pre-qualified it. WHO is a special UN agency. It is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, established in 1948, and Dr. Tedros is Director General of WHO. International Mother Earth Day is celebrated on 30 April, 17 April, Feb, May, or 22nd April. So International Mother Earth Day is celebrated on 22nd April every year, and this year theme is Planet versus Plastic. The purpose is to eliminate single-use plastic. Single-use plastic, are very harmful. You use it once and throw it away, and it takes a very large amount of years to degrade, and sometimes it does not degrade at all. Single-use plastic is very dangerous and is very harmful for environment, earth, and overall ecosystem. International Mother Earth Day is celebrated to, recognize humanity's common home and need to protect her. So please remember this. International Mother Earth Day is celebrated on April 22nd every year. Llama 3 model is advanced AI model used by which tech giant? Meta, Google, IBM, or SP. IBM means International Business Machines. SP, Hewlett Packard, which is computer company. So it is Meta. Meta, which was earlier, known as Facebook Inc. Later it became Meta, and Meta has developed advanced AI assistant based on Llama 3 model, just like OpenAI uses GPT 3.5, GPT 4. Similar manner, Llama 3 is AI assistant model. It helps the AI assistant model developed by Meta, and Llama 3 is a model, not AI assistant. AI assistant is based on this model. So Facebook, so Meta, earlier known as Facebook, is headquartered in California, United States. As we know, it was earlier named as Meta, and it is a very big company. It has multiple company under its. Reality Labs. Reality Labs, makes VR devices such as Oculus devices, virtual reality devices. WhatsApp is also part of Meta. Instagram is also part of Meta. Messenger is also part of Meta, and Facebook is also part of Meta. These are the few companies Meta operates. Other than these, there are lots of other companies as well. You should note that Reality Labs, which is a VR company, virtual reality company, makes Oculus headsets. And Llama 3 model is used by Meta to make its own AI assistant. And the recent launch of AI assistant led to the development of advanced version. In this, Meta AI assistant can understand nuances and subtle conversations between human and AI, as well as faster image generation. Recently, which European country has joined Artemis Accord? Artemis Accord, Armenia, Croatia, Sweden, or Finland? So it is Sweden. Sweden has joined recently Artemis Accord, and you should know what is Artemis Accord. First of all, it is a non-binding bilateral agreement, which means these are not enforceable. Nobody will force you, nobody will punish you if you don't follow this. But it is agreement between various government across the. It is agreement between US government and various other government in a bilateral fashion. So it is a non-binding agreement. India is part of this Artemis Accord, and the purpose of Artemis Accord is to increase cooperation and civil exploration and use of moon, asteroids, Mars for peaceful purpose. So Artemis Accord is a non-binding bilateral agreement between US government and various other government, and it aims to increase cooperation and civil exploration and use of moon, Mars, asteroid for peaceful purposes. So recently Sweden has joined Artemis Accord. Other than Sweden, Slovenia and Switzerland has also joined Artemis Accord. So other than Artemis Accord, there is a very confusing thing you should know about it. One is Artemis mission or Artemis program. Artemis program is a US government program, and it aims to establish or send man once again mankind once again to moon, as last time NASA reached the moon in 1972 Apollo 17 spacecraft. Artemis program is all about sending the mankind to moon once again since 1972 after Apollo 17 mission. So Artemis program is moon mission, and Artemis Accord is all about cooperation and civil exploration between bilateral between countries for moon, Mars, asteroid, peaceful and civilian purposes. And India is part of Artemis Accord. DRDO has developed Akash NG missile, and it can be used for very short range and defense system, ship-based ballistic missile, anti-drone or anti-tank. So it is anti-tank missile. In fact, it can be used for in very other purposes as well, and we must not limit it to anti-tank only. It can be used for other than option B. It can be used for very short range air defense systems as well. It can be used as anti-drone as well, and it can be used for anti-tank as well. So please don't confuse it. Here there are all three options are correct, and it is not ship-based ballistic missile. It is not. So what is Akash NG? Akash NG, as name suggests, the Akash NG means new generation. It is a missile systems which is surface to air missile, means it is launched from surface and attacks enemies at air. Suppose it is established here, and when it is launched, it can intercept drones, it can deviate the ballistic missiles, it can deflect the helicopters as well, it can attack aircraft as well, flying aircraft as well. So it is surface to air. Surface means it is launched from surface and attacks on air defense. It can also act as very short range air defense system. It can also act as anti-drone systems. It can also act as anti-tank systems as well. So Akash NG is a new generation missile, and it is a very advanced version. It is going to help boost India's defense capabilities, and it is developed by DRDO, BEL and BDL. DRDO, as we know, Defense Research Development Organizations, and BEL is a Bharat Electronics Limited, is a DPSU, Defense Public Sector Undertaking. BDL is a Bharat Dynamics Bharat Dynamics Limited, which is also a DPSU, and DRDO is a research body of Government of India. So these three organizations have come joined hand to make this Akashanji missile. According to UN Meteorological Organization and Climate Agency, Copernicus, which continent is the fastest warming? Asia, America, Europe, or Australia? So it basically Copernicus is a climate agency, and recently it has conducted research and it has released a report and told about which continent is fastest warming. Warming means which continent is experiencing large amount of heat waves, large amount of heat than the normal state. So it is Europe. So according to Copernicus, Europe is heating very fast compared to other continents, and it is a very challenging since Europe is already a cold continent. Generally it remains cold except few days in during heat waves, but however, due to the rising global temperature, due to rising greenhouse gas emissions, due to rising industrial activities and CO2 emissions, it has led to global warming, and Europe is facing large amount of heat wave than usual. And Copernicus has released the report, and other than with the help of UN World Meteorological Organization. So please remember this: Europe is the fastest warming continent. WASA 1 AI model can convert images into videos, launched by Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, or Apple. So WASA is AI model and it is developed by Microsoft Corporation. And WASA AI does basically, if you give it images, okay, still images and some video, some audio as well, what it will do is it will make a animated video. Okay, it will make a animated video at around 45 frame per second. You don't have to remember this frame per second. Basically, so WASA AI model can convert image into the video, as well as if you provide it audio, it will sync it by its own intelligence in a proper fashion. So it will sync your still picture and it will audio, and it will make a animation based on that picture. You give that photo and it will make a video. That's how WASA works. It is developed by Microsoft Corporation. Google has recently fired 20 employees recently as they were protesting for Project Nimbus, Project Galactic Center, Project Sky, and Project Balloon. Google has fired 20 employees and also taken action on various number of employees. Exact numbers are not known as this is ongoing. So 20 employees have been fired. That is confirmed, and they were objecting the Google's own project known as Project Nimbus. Let me tell you what is Project Nimbus. Project Nimbus is basically Google and Amazon's joint initiative to provide IT, cloud computing, AI, and various other services to Israel. Google and Amazon has said that these companies that we are providing Israel for better governance and other peaceful purposes, not for military purposes. However, these employees were protesting and were accusing Google that these technologies were used by Israel to attack Gaza, and in turn Google has fired in 20 employees, maintaining their position that these are for peaceful purposes, while these employees allege that these projects are used for military applications. In which country was the Hindi radio broadcast recently started for the first time? United Arab Emirates, which is UAE, Vietnam, Kuwait, or Uzbekistan. So in Kuwait, the national radio or the state broadcaster has started a Hindi program in evening, and it is the first time in Kuwait that Hindi radio program is being aired. Remember that capital of Kuwait is Kuwait City and currency of Kuwait is dinar. Kuwaiti dinar or dinar, you can say this. Kuwait is a very rich in oil and natural gas reserve. It is one of the richest countries in Middle East with very high GDP per capita as well as high Human Development Index HDI. So Kuwait has started Hindi radio show first time in its country. Zero Shadow Day is observed recently in which city? So Zero Shadow Day is observed when you are standing near equator and sun shines exactly on your head perpendicular to, so there will be no shadow. For example, if you standing here, assume it's a person, and if sun shines morning, shadow will be here. If sun shines here, shadow will be here. But it doesn't happen that sun shine exactly perpendicular, except on few occasions sun may shine here and shadow will be here. So someday sun will shine at exactly above perpendicular to head of person, and there will be no shadow, zero shadow. Means you will stand there and you will notice zero shadow. Sun will shine perpendicular to your head, and this is called a zero shadow day. Recently, it is observed in Bengaluru, and Bengaluru is the capital of Karnataka. So these are the important things you should know about it. These are the UN Nations Days designated by UN for April 23. World Book and Copyright Day, and the theme is Read Your Way. It is celebrated on April 23 every year. English Language Day. This year theme is Using Technology for Multilingual Learning Challenges and Opportunities. It is also celebrated on April 23. And Spanish Language Day is also celebrated on April 23. The English Language Day and Spanish Language Day is easy to remember. Just combine this, and it is celebrated on April 23. English is for UK, and Spanish is for Spain. Both are European countries. Both are nearby, so you can combine these. Other than that, World Book and Copyright Day, you can remember it in a manner like when you buy a book, you often see that there are lots of fake books are also available. So remember this when you buy a book, and it automatically should come into your mind about copyright. The World Book and Copyright Day is also celebrated on April 23. So please remember this. These were today's current affairs. Keep learning every day, even if you don't see results immediately, because current affairs takes time to build up. Current affairs is not a overnight task. You can learn it in one night. You can't learn it in 1 week. You can't learn it even 1 month. You need to build it passionately, layer by layer, one day at a time. Every day you have to develop interest to reach a top. So keep learning, keep revising, and if you have any doubt or if you have any feedback, please mention them in comment section. I will answer your doubt, and I will take your feedback into consideration. Please have faith in higher powers and do your best. Do not back down. Do not sit down. Just keep working hard. Keep learning every day. Do not be demotivated. Keep giving tests. Keep revising, and have faith in higher power always, every single day. And if you have enjoyed the session, please like this video and please consider subscribing to this channel so that you can get timely videos. It will also motivate me to make more important videos in future as well. So these were today's current affairs. Thank you so much for watching, for joining me. Have a great day.